So when I was watching the trailer for this movie and they were trying to pass off to me this concept of Jennifer Lopez being this big Beyonce-esque superstar and picking out a random white guy in the crowd as her husband after find out she's cheated on, I told myself there was no way in hell I was watching this movie because I thought it'd be a waste of time. And then I found out the guy was Owen Wilson. And they got me. I gotta be honest. Anytime you put up Owen Wilson in something, that's a weak spot. Owen Wilson, Romantic Comedies, that's my guilty pleasure. So they got me on board, and it was just crazy enough to work. Just goes to show you don't really underestimate the power of Owen Wilson in romantic comedies. Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and this is my review for Marry Me, starring Jennifer Lopez, Owen Wilson, and Sarah Silverman, and is also directed by Kat Corio. Now, of course, I was getting into the plot a little bit during my intro, but essentially it is Jennifer Lopez as this Beyonce-esque superstar who everyone loves and is obsessed about, and she's originally dating this other superstar played by Maloma. I'm not really, I wasn't really aware of him before this movie, so I think his name is Maloma, but he was playing, or Maloma, look, I'm just gonna skip the name, but essentially she's dating this superstar, and now all of a sudden on their big tour before he's supposed to propose to her and they're supposed to take their vows, she finds out that he cheated on her. And as a way to essentially get back at him and teach the world about taking chances on love, she decides to go through with the whole deal that they made about, you know, marrying somebody, but she just doesn't choose him. She chooses Owen Wilson, who's just a random white guy in the crowd. And like I said, guys, honestly, the plot of this is so wacky, and I was not on board with it at all until I found out that the guy that they're trying to pair up with her is Owen Wilson. That's Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez is the most wacky comparison ever. Not comparison, the most wacky couple brought together in a movie that I've seen in a very long time. So it's a very odd couple, and it's like, how do you not, if you're a fan of romantic comedies like I am, it's kind of like, how do you not want to see how that turns out? Like I said, romantic comedies are definitely a guilty pleasure for me, so it doesn't really take much to get me to go see them. Like, the only reason I wasn't going to was because, like I said, the concept of this just looked ridiculous. And it kind of is, but Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez, they make it work. They truly do. I'm very pleased with this movie. I actually had a very good time with it. I mean, essentially the way I'm going to do this review, I'm going to talk about what I didn't like, or essentially, like I said, guys, I'm a big romantic comedy guy, so it's not necessarily the bad, but for me, it's kind of like the not so good, the not so bad type thing. So I'm going to start with that category first, and then I'm going to talk about what I liked in the movie, just because I feel like it'll make more sense if I talk about what I didn't like first. So in my not so bad, not so good category, the only thing I really had an issue with in this movie was the plot. Like I said, guys, the plot is just very wacky, and it's a concept to where as you're watching the movie and you see everything unfold, it's kind of just like, you didn't really have to put yourself in this situation, but of course there are factors in there where there's, you know, it's a romantic comedy, so they're trying to play on the strings of, you know, teaching about love and taking a chance, and, you know, it's literally kind of a love at first sight type thing that they're going for here. And like I said, the only reason it works is because of Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez, but I'll get to that in a second. But as I'm watching this movie and the plot is just unraveling, and you're watching these characters go through what they have to go through, which is essentially just getting to know each other after being proposed to on, you know, the biggest stage in the world. Basically, it was like a New Year's Eve type event, and she proposed to this random guy in the crowd. Like I said, guys, and they portray her, Jennifer Lopez, to be this Beyonce-esque character, and it's like, honestly, the only reason like I said, these two are very polar opposite characters as well. Like, not only is it just Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson, but like their character traits in the movie. Like, this guy, Owen Wilson, he's a math teacher. He has a flip phone in 2022. He's not on social media. And this girl is the polar opposite. Now, of course, there's a whole opposites attract thing, but I gotta be honest, I'm not buying it. With traits this opposite on the spectrum, I honestly couldn't buy most of it, but the only reason it works is because these two are very charming together. They work very well together. But like, say for example, I'm gonna keep using Beyonce just because I'm only gonna keep using Beyonce because in the movie, you know, she's praised, like people just yell the most ridiculous things at her. Like they love her, they're obsessed with her, they want to have her babies. I imagine this is what Beyonce goes through on a daily basis. So I'm going to keep comparing her to Beyonce. This is like if Beyonce randomly decided one day to do this thing with this type of Marry Me tour with Jay-Z, and all of a sudden, you know, she picks Will Ferrell to, you know, marry. And it's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And that's kind of what this is. But I mean, like I said, it honestly works. The plot, it's only because they try to push the narrative that these two are so opposite that you're just like, come on, like it's already Owen Wilson, Jennifer Lopez. You don't have to keep convincing me that they're that different. I understand already, but they keep trying to just push the narrative and just make it seem like they're just completely two different people. And you honestly, like I said, I'm a big romantic comedy guy. I honestly I didn't buy it, but I bought into it because of who's playing these characters. Like I said, I'm a big Owen Wilson guy, and he just makes, you put Owen Wilson in a lot of things, he's gonna make that movie just a little bit better. Like honestly, like, and this proves it for me, because this concept I was not into, because I've seen Jennifer Lopez do bad concept movies like these before, and they haven't turned out to be good. But you add Owen Wilson into it, and they just make for a pretty good couple, I must say. And so that's going to bring me into what I actually liked about this movie, and that starts with Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez. They make the entire movie, I must say. If a romantic comedy, if your main couple isn't working, if people don't believe into that, it's not really going to work. But Owen Wilson just has this whole charm about him. And Jennifer Lopez, I'm not going to completely trash on her. She just has a resume of, you know, some trash movies. So whenever I see her in something, you know, I got to tread softly, unfortunately. I got to make sure what I'm getting into isn't going to, you know, completely bore me to death or just, you know, take me completely out of it. Because, you know, she tends to do that sometimes. The Boy Next Door was a thing, and it just really, it didn't need to be. It really didn't need to be. But other than that, in this movie, Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez, they work. They're an actually very cute couple. And honestly, she comes off as this, her character in the movie, Jennifer Lopez, she's an incredibly nice person, and she's, you know, she's essentially that down-to-earth star. She's just, you know, followed by a bunch of cameras. She's used to it. She's Beyonce. Like I said, she's just a Beyonce-esque person. Like I said, the only thing about it that was really pushing this narrative for me was the fact that this guy had a flip phone. But I mean, it gave segue into the movie, like as a part of the plot. It gave a segue where, you know, she can teach him about her world, and he can teach her about his, and it's kind of, you know, that whole thing where it's a very basic little generic romantic story that they follow. You know, it's a lot of the romantic quirks, or not quirks, I should say. It's the cliches. It's this movie follows a lot of the romantic comedy cliches, you know, and it could be a generic plot. Like I said, the plot is my only issue with the movie, because it's very basic. You know, it follows the exact formula that you've seen plenty of times in these kind of movies. The thing that makes it outstanding, and the thing that actually made me really enjoy this movie, was watching Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson grow into, like, getting to know each other. Because, you know, after the whole proposal thing, they didn't jump right into marriage, which is what I thought this was going to be. I thought they were just going to be, you know, married, you know, after making a proposal to the entire world. But no, they actually take the time to keep that marriage thing on hold, but they're getting to know each other throughout the movie, and that's honestly nice to see. And Owen Wilson is like a single father as well, so you get to see him, you get to see her interact with his entire life, his daughter, his friends. Sarah Silverman, who's an assistant, I think she's the guidance counselor in the movie, and she does a phenomenal job as well. But that's going to take me to my next point as well, which makes this movie pretty good. Another thing that I thought worked really well in this movie was the fact that the supporting cast went so well with everybody. I mean, the cast really had a chemistry with each other, and honestly, like I said, that really makes up for this generic plot and how this movie could really fall flat from it. Everybody's having fun. Everybody works really well together. And Sarah Silverman is a joy to watch on screen. John Bradley, aka Samuel Tarly's in this movie. I was actually so happy to see that he's trying to make up for his moonfall incident, because I don't need to ever see anything like that again. I'm really happy. I was really happy to see him in this movie. But the supporting cast, they work together pretty well. Even Jennifer Lopez's ex-boyfriend, who's, you know, the antagonist in this movie, making a conflict about everything. he actually wasn't bad. He had a lot of cringy moments at times where he was trying to be romantic towards her. But other than that, the guy can sing pretty well. So I mean, I was entertained by that. He does make a decision in the end of the movie where it kind of just makes me go, well, what was the point of you doing in anything in the last hour and however long, hour and 2 minutes, however long this movie was. There was a decision made at the end by him that made me kind of question what was his point. But I mean, other than that, I'm gonna kind of just look over that because these are guilty pleasure movies for me. But that is something to kind of point out as well, that wasn't that good. But other than that, the entire supporting cast was a joy to see. They're having a lot of fun. The cast in general makes the movie fun, and they make it watchable. And it could be the cheesiest thing in the world, because I gotta admit, all of the songs aren't the best in the world. Like some of them, I think the main one that she wrote, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but the song that she wrote in the movie context for Owen Wilson, that song was very cute. Even the "Marry Me" song, it kind of started to grow on me, but for the other songs that she had, I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, there's no way she blows up off the charts this fast for these songs, but she does. It's Jennifer Lopez, it's a movie, they got to keep the narrative going. But I really enjoyed this movie, guys. I really had a lot of fun in it. So overall, guys, Marry Me is a really good time at the theater. It's a romantic comedy, so please go in knowing that you're going to get all the romantic comedy cliches, kind of a wacky, cheesy plot, but you have a really great couple chemistry with Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez. You have a wonderful supporting cast right alongside with them, and you just sit back and you watch these two grow, and you laugh and you have fun. I mean, Owen Wilson, he brings such a joy to a movie that you never, like a whole another element to a movie that you just don't really expect. And for example, when I was watching Wonder like a while back with Jacob Tremblay, I really didn't know that. I didn't even know Owen Wilson was in that movie, but when I saw him, not only did that movie have like such a nice tone with it, it was a very kind, uplifting, hopeful little movie. Owen Wilson kind of added a whole nother element to that as well. It's just nice seeing him do those things. And like I said, he's one of my favorite actors. Probably not top 10, but Owen Wilson's definitely somebody who, if I ever see him on screen, I know he's going to add an element to the movie that I'm going to love, and it's probably going to get me into go seeing it. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to give Marry Me a 3 out of 5 stars. This is, like I said, guys, just go check it out. It's a really good time. If you're into romantic comedies, this is definitely something for you to go check out. If not, Uncharted's in theaters too. I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna definitely do a review on it, but I haven't heard the best things about it. So if you don't like romantic comedies, I'm just giving you another option to see. If it's not good, you can blame me, but don't blame me because I haven't seen it yet. So sorry about that. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. Just let me know if you've seen Marry Me, what did you think of it? If you're not going to see Marry Me, what are some of your favorite romantic comedies? That's, like I said, that's a big category for me, so I want to hear about it, guys. Just have some fun down in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and more content coming to you guys soon.